Hello, everyone. Welcome back to On Point Politics. And today I'm going to be talking about Biden's historically weak numbers as an incumbent president. Now, before we get started with the video, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post bell notifications so you don't miss another video that I post. And without further ado, let's get into this video. With this, right, we can see that clearly Biden is under Trump by 2.1 points. His disapproval rating is a minus 15% approval rating, and it was even higher than that just not too long ago. I think it almost hit about, I think it was closer to like 20 recently or something. Like it got pretty high. It was like at 17 point something. It dropped below 39 and now he's at 42, 40.2. So it's practically where it was in the middle of January. And the new NBC News poll currently has Biden down by, 23 points, which is what this is the poll that had Trump up 5 percentage points, which is very interesting. But I also have this model that I used in a lot of my videos and I'm kind of showing everybody to use for the presidential election. But Biden's incumbent approval ratings are historically low for a president. As you can see, as of this day in the fourth year, you know, Trump was at 45.2. Obama was at 48 and Bush was at 51. And I'm pretty sure that, yeah, look, see, now he's at 40.2. So he's significantly below where Trump was on this day, and he's also below Obama and he's below Bush by a substantial amount. So out of all the presidents in the 21st century, he's had the worst approval rating out of any of them, even on this day alone. He's had the worst one. And not only that, his lead on this exact day a couple of months back was much larger than what it even was beforehand. It was much larger. It was a 4.5 lead. Clinton was leading by 4, and Trump currently right now is ahead by 2.1 percentage points. Right now I currently have, Trump losing the popular vote by like half a point, and that swings the popular vote 4 points with Biden's disapproval rating. But if Biden were to lose, the popular vote by 2.1 points, Trump would have a very easy time winning the Electoral College. I mean, it would be very easy for him. It wouldn't even be a hard election at all. But what I want to talk about is why is Biden, so historically weak? There are a couple of reasons for this. Number one, the border crisis is just absolutely out of control. Just letting thousands of immigrants in, every single day of the week is not going to help you be an effective president. There's a lot of terrorist, watch list concerns. Possible terrorists could be slipping in. A lot of, young aged men, a lot of like, younger men that are military aged are walking into the country unchecked. And there's like, I believe the number, according to Mike Johnson, was like, which is the Speaker of the House, it's like, I think it's like 150,000 people are on the watch terror list as of right now, which is absolutely insane. And it could be even higher than that based on who is not tracked. So the border is terrible. Number two, the economy, just because you tell somebody, oh, hey, my economic numbers are up, inflation's down, and, the GDP is great and the stock market looks good, doesn't mean that people are going to feel like the economy is good. Most of the people who are benefiting are in the 1% class, of all wealth right now. And so you can't necessarily say that just because the economy looks good on paper, it's going to look good in real life. A lot of those jobs that are being created are government service jobs, or there are second jobs that people are already taking a first job in. And those new jobs are people just getting another job now. So you can't really tell economic growth right now, as a strong suit, especially if voters don't even agree with you. A lot of the news has been saying, oh, inflation's down and this is down, but why are they saying that he's still bad? It's because people don't feel it. People on the ground think that the economy is still, in shambles, and that's a big problem for the Biden administration. Number three, he is very mentally incompetent overall. He is not well. He clearly seems to have some form, of dementia slash Alzheimer's, and I think that that's not going to play for him well electorally either. That's going to turn off a lot of, younger voters, millennial voters to really even show up for him. Joe Biden's coalition is going to be a very older coalition. He's going to get a pretty old coalition. A lot of Trump, you know, voters that now would vote for him that may not have voted for him last time are probably going to end up being a lot of 18 to 29 year olds, 29 to 35 year olds. Those kind of voters he did kind of okay with in 2020 for being a Republican, but now he could probably either possibly get onto them or even flip him. And I had been saying this from like 2022 that Trump was going to massively gain with 18 to 29-year-old voters. And the NBC News poll only has it, I think 18 to 25-year-olds, he's only down with them by 6 points. I think he was like at 38 and Biden was like at 44, which is like, that's really good for Trump and really bad for Biden. And also, number four as well, if you look at Biden's numbers, I mean, his approval with African American voters and Hispanic voters are just absolutely to the ground. This has to do with a lot of black families not really getting any real results out of the Biden administration. A lot of the illegal immigration seems very unfair to a lot of migrants that came here legally, but now that they're seeing all these people pouring in and they get to stay in Mexico and wait until they come back, or they can wait in the US to get to get citizenship. A lot of them find it unfair that, oh, why did I have to do it the right way, but these people could just walk in for free. A lot of Hispanics are very mad about that. And so I think because of that, the electoral map is not looking really good for Biden right now. It is not looking good whatsoever. This is probably going to be the worst possible battleground map that Biden could really get. Texas and Florida are basically a lock for Biden at this point. These are basically locked up states for Biden at this point. And if you look at the state of Colorado, it is shifting massively to the left. So it is probably going to stay in that column. New York more than likely will stay in that column, but I think it could be significantly closer, including Colorado being in like a lean battleground status, including Illinois and New Jersey. The states of Iowa and Ohio are basically long gone. North Carolina's long gone. Wisconsin and Georgia are part of Trump's floor of 261 electoral votes. But I'm almost even starting to wonder if the state of Nevada could even join this, because if the NBC News poll and multiple polls have Trump either down with Hispanics by 5 or him winning it by like more than 1, that's a really good sign that more than likely that he is probably going to be winning the electoral college, pretty easily. And this may be Trump's floor right now. I may update my next video of Trump being at 267 electoral college votes, because if he's doing this well in the polling and with Hispanics, he's basically got Nevada pretty much locked up. So his floor may be 267 electoral college votes, and even the state of Pennsylvania could join this column at some point eventually, or maybe even the state of Arizona can join this column at some point. And what's really interesting is that even if Biden were to win the popular vote, by the same amount he won it by, in 2020, I mean, he would win re-election according to my model, but there is a margin of error that could still be there. So he could theoretically still end up winning the presidential election at this point in time. And even if he were to only win it by like, let's say he wins the popular vote by like a little bit less than what he won it by in 2020, he basically pretty much gets the electoral college. Because see, look, 4.1 will make it a little bit closer or maybe a little bit farther away, but you see Georgia's on the brink of flipping. Arizona's right about there. So if Biden wins the popular vote by 4 points, he's basically cooked at this point, because Nevada would barely flip, Georgia would flip, Arizona would flip, and Wisconsin would end up flipping at this point. And so, according to my model, Arizona would flip first, but I don't really know if that would necessarily be the case. In my personal opinion, I think right now the floor is 276 electoral votes. Maybe Arizona, uh, over time we could see what really happens. I think Joe Biden is basically guaranteed all of these states. I don't think they would really end up flipping in any sort of scenario. But his floor in my battleground map is 120 safe electoral votes, with Trump basically being at 235, which is what he had in 2020 basically. Um I might even add Wisconsin into like a safe category at some point. I mean, I don't think it would go to Biden at any form, way, or capacity. But I think maybe at some point that I might even be able to add into the safe Republican column where, his floor is absolutely 245. I mean, we'll see. But right now, this is Trump's floor, and all these battleground states are open for grabs for Trump to get an electoral college victory of possibly higher than, he could get a pretty big margin in the electoral college. I'd even say maybe even Maine's at large could even be a state that's probably in the battleground maps at this point, especially if you look at all polling. All polling has Maine within one, has Michigan as likely Republican at some points. Pennsylvania, I mean, Biden's leading the aggregate because of one poll that has him up by 8. Arizona, the aggregate has them up by 5. Georgia has him up by 7 in the aggregate. Like, it's not even close. If you look at my polling aggregates here, he's up by a lot. Nevada has his aggregate up by 4. And even though, Democrats are underestimated in the state of Nevada, even if it was off by 4 points, Trump would still be winning the state of Nevada in this scenario, according to this poll. But really, Trump, according to my model, even if you were to lose the popular vote by 4 points, he still wins the electoral college in the scenario. So, as of right now, I think Trump has a floor of 267 electoral votes with Joe Biden's 191. I think that, Biden, border crisis, immigration, the economy, his mental capacity not being there are all going to be factors of him getting very low turnout in 2024. And so that's pretty much it for this video. If you guys did enjoy the video, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on that bell so you don't miss another video that I post. And I hope you guys have a good day.